In the future, obviously, diversification is critical. One of the things which the pandemic has taught us is this concept of anti-fragility. So we need to become more resilient to be able to take shocks.
On behalf of our team, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the hybrid launch event of EURACTIV survey, What Way Forward for European Trade Associations.
Some of our smaller members were massively impacted by the pandemic to the point where they wouldn't be able to pay their membership fees. And can we somehow club together as when you get the bigger members to actually help support them so that they can have a voice?
This is a mammoth new network of groups or teams, chats, all sorts of different ways that you need to have at your fingertips to be able to, in this virtual world, to communicate with everybody.
I think these changes are here to stay and not to return to the former normal. So the nature of the office is also changing. You're not coming to the office anymore to sit behind your desk and do your work in silo, but you're coming to the office to interact, to communicate, to exchange.
We onboarded some new staff, and onboarding in an online environment is extremely tricky. Without that personal contact, which we advocacy people are so addicted to, it's really, really hard to build a relationship.
If we cannot get in a room with people, it's harder to convey messages, it's harder to engage in policy discussions. And so, well, our impact has been limited to this effect. And so, yes, it was a big challenge. We're all happy to slowly go back to normal. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
I think I sort of disagreed with that first challenge about the inability to engage. I think it was actually an opportunity to get greater access to a certain extent. You found that some stakeholders had more time. It was easier for them to come on for half an hour and leave, fit in more in the day. And in our case, and perhaps because we are a US association, engage with more people around the world.
If we want information that is really targeted to our sector, the only way we get it is on the one-to-one communication with the commission officials or the members of the parliament, etc. But it's good to have, I think, more than one. It's like reading newspapers. I read more than one newspaper.
When you're teleworking, you work more intensely. How many of you recognize that you took no nature breaks between online meetings and you find yourself constantly online? Whereas in a real live event, you have a cup of coffee, you have a break, you mingle.
We need to completely reconceptualize well-being at work, profoundly. Not only put it front and center, not only talk about it, but we need to tackle it, because I think frankly, the last 15, 20 years, it's been a thing which no one's really tackled head on. That's one internal trend that we're going to have to really address, given this completely new normal of sort of hybrid, virtual, we're all everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Fancy new platforms, I have to say we haven't tried any of them. I think we will focus in the coming year on using such fancy tools such as conferences, events, cocktails, drinks, stuff like that, rather than trying to discover some new funky social networks.
We believe that hybrid meetings are discriminatory to the people not in the room. And it's very difficult for a person outside the room to have full presence in the debate.
Yeah.
Now, hybrid events are a different thing, like we're experiencing today. With good moderation, which is happening, then the people outside the room are being brought in equally with the people in the room. And so you're getting a very rounded appreciation of the work.
More and more our members and ourselves realize that bringing a common message, speaking with one voice is the way forward, and not going individually as one company or one association. We still have some long years ahead.